Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hey, it's us again. It's Rob and Sandra.
Yes, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Yes, it is.
We're going to talk about herbs.
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 Herbs. Herbs and herbs.
Yeah.
One of those fun words that changes depending on where you live.
Yeah, we could do like a huge long episode or multiple episodes about this.
You say that about everything.
Well, I know, but
you have a lot to say, it seems.
Well, I love this time of year because all of the kind of dormant, like the mint and the rosemary and the lavender.
And the dandelions.
They're all kind of like, they were getting woody and they looked like they had died, but then the spring comes and all the green starts coming alive again. And then, I love spring. Also, if we get back to nature, we've talked about this before, about how important it is just if we are eating more whole, minimally processed foods that are kind of just foods that grow from the ground. Mm-hmm. And you pick the apple from the tree and all of those foods that gets us back to nature.
Yeah, and this is the time of year to do that because it's everywhere.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to talk about herbs because you can really find a lot of awesome herbs and you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Herbs I find are overlooked. Herbs and spices in general are kind of overlooked and people like to throw salt on their food to make it taste good, but there's so many other delicious and like fresh herbs that add so much flavor.
Absolutely.
And can really like change the direction of a meal. Like you can take the same dish and make it completely different with just the herbs that you add to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a totally different flavor. So yeah, they play a really important role.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what are your favorite herbs to use?
Oh, cilantro. Mm-hmm. I love cilantro.
Like fresh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess you could have it dry, right? I've never thought of it any other way other than fresh, but.
Well, coriander and cilantro are from the same plant. The coriander are the seeds and the cilantro is the leafy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And there's actually, that's the difference between herbs and spices is the part of the plant.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So the herb is the green, like the leaf.
The fresh part.
Well, it can be dried.
True, that's true. Okay.
But it's the leaf generally, and then, or sometimes the stem. But the spice is the root or the bark, like cinnamon, or it could be the seed, like a dried seed, fruit or flower of the plant.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And generally, herbs are more in temperate climates, where spices come from tropical places.
Cool.
And with spices, they tend to be a bit more...
Have more of a punch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit, like less is more with spices, but with herbs, especially fresh herbs, you can put some in and it's not... Like you think basil pesto. Mm-hmm. You have to have like, a cup or 2 cups of basil to make...
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
To make a little jar of finished product.
Oh, so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And it's so, good for us. That's the other thing, is adding some fresh herbs into a meal or just eating them is so good for us.
Well, it's your greens, and there's probably nutrients in there that are specifically in some
like
herbs.
Anti-inflammatory and yeah. So there's definitely great benefits to using fresh herbs. And you can go to the grocery store and you can get a bag that are of cut herbs
like
that
a
are
little,
fresh.
Like a little baggie almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's even better value if you buy the plant. You've noticed them in some grocery stores, they have like a basil plant or a cilantro plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you buy the plant, then you just water it and you just pick the herbs as you need them. And you can put them in the sunny windowsill or on, if it's the summer, you can put it on the deck or on outside in a pot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice having them fresh on hand and growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like it just keeps growing.
It feels good to pick something like that and put it in your food.
Yeah.
Right?
It feels like back
or
to
just
nature.
Pick it and eat it.
Yeah.
Like I love doing that.
I know. It kind of is it feels almost old fashioned, which is good though, and like back to nature. And it feels like maybe you have memories with being with grandparents or your parents doing that when you were younger.
Or the girl down the street in the garden. Are those?
I don't know about
You don't know about those memories? Okay. I'm just teasing.
You're funny.
But I'm sure there's people who, have those memories.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to just talk about, because this is a nutrition nugget, so it's more of a brief one. But some of I'm going to say 11.
You're going to say 11 in the next 4 minutes here.
Well, we'll just it's like a general summary, but we can dive deeper into each specific one in other episodes.
In part 2 of herbs and herbs. Okay, go. 11. Here we go. Number 1.
One of my favorite ones that I love to get fresh growing is basil.
Mm-hmm. You've been using basil for years. It's really good on a bagel with tomato, fresh basil, and a little bit of salt and pepper. It's so delicious.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fresh tasting, and you really taste the basil. Basil and tomato are just like, they go together like
peanut butter and
jam,
yeah.
I guess.
Or peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah. That'd be good too.
Mm-hmm.
You ran into remember that commercial?
Yeah, the peanut butter cups.
Yeah, Reese's.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Yeah. My peanut butter ran into your chocolate or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and basil and tomato are like that. They just go together.
And I think with a lot of Italian food, those two are together a lot, and all the sauces and a lot of their dishes, they have those two.
Pizza.
Yeah, margarita pizza, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of basil and tomato on that. So,
so good.
Those are good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the basil, when we eat it, it's got some fat-soluble phytochemicals, so antioxidants. So when there's cheese with the pizza, then your body absorbs those phytochemicals that are fat-soluble.
Perfect.
Yeah, in those green leafy herbs. So yeah, basil's a really good one. It's delicate. It's really hard to grow. It depends on where you're living and what the climate is, but I find it's a tricky one to grow well, like keep it growing. Well, it's an annual too.
It seems like you can either grow it or you can't, because there's someone we know that it was growing like a weed and they couldn't contain it. Like they were growing so much of it.
Wow.
And then, we have problems growing it here. So it's one of those things.
And that's funny because fennel is the one that grows like a weed here.
We have a fennel forest in our garden. Seriously, it's like 6 feet tall and it's like a cornfield.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because you can just pick it and eat it and it's delicious. It tastes like black licorice if you've never had it, but it's like a small, like...
It's like, it looks like dill.
It looks like dill. It's kind of lacy little leaf that, it's so good.
Yeah, and it's really good for digestion, fennel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just so nice when, like, in the garden, you just kind of brush by it and it just smells so nice. And
when I cut the lawn, I always make laps past the fennel so that I can grab a handful to keep me going.
Oh, yummy. Yeah. No, that's great. And the next one is cilantro, which is another delicate one I find. It's like kind of the leaf is very delicate leaf compared to like sage or rosemary.
Yeah. And cilantro is very common with Mexican food.
Totally.
Which I love Mexican food, and it's cilantro is a big part of that flavor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
With lime.
Oh yeah. Lime should almost be considered a
staple.
Well, it's kind of like a I don't want to say a spice, but it's like a flavoring you're adding the same way you are with spices and herbs, right?
Yeah.
Because it adds so much. But yeah, we don't want to get sidetracked. But yeah, I love lime too.
Oh, totally. No, lemon, lime, vinegar are all acidic and really wonderful for digestion and really good for our whole overall health. I think we'll do a whole nother episode on vinegars because there's just so many different types of vinegars and they're so good too.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually are pretty good for your health in terms of having them with a meal or before, like on your salad or eating. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yeah, are we ever?
We normally do, don't we?
Always.
Always.
I wonder if there's anyone that listens just to hear how like sidetracked we're going to get. Let's see where they take it this time. Let's see what rabbit hole they go down this week, just for the entertainment purposes.
Okay, back to cilantro then.
Okay, cilantro, right.
Cilantro is another one that's pretty delicate and difficult to grow well, for me anyways. I do usually buy a plant if I see them in the produce section as a plant to have just in the kitchen in the sunny windowsill.
Mm-hmm.
To add to dishes as we're, just making lunch or dinner. It's something you can add to your salad or into wraps or into soup. Lots of different ways, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have a nice little punch of flavor just as is.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for storage, like preserving. So when you are in the winter months or when there aren't fresh herbs growing around, you can always either dry them. So when you do have them, you pick a bunch and then you wash the leaves. And how would you dry them?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's
I've
a few
never
ways.
thought about that. Just hang them? Is that?
Yeah. Exactly. You can hang them in bunches.
I'm thinking. All I'm picturing is putting it in a book, because that's how we used to dry stuff. Like I don't know what we used to dry in books, like corsages or something from a prom, or I don't know. Like we've got all these flowers and dried things in books.
Pretty flattened.
That's all I can think. But I'm like, that just seems weird. I'm not going to say that.
Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's a really big tangent, actually.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's a thing, right?
Yeah, I think.
Because you're flattening it.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I remember in kindergarten, like with leaves and for class or something.
We always had all these books growing up with stuff in them.
Yeah.
I never quite understood. And anytime you had something cool, you'd put it in a book. You just save it.
Well,
in
books are amazing.
In a little baggie. But
right.
I don't know. Well, the weight of it, right?
I don't know if you'd want to put it in a baggie. Anyways, super tangent again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's different ways to dry it. Like, did you notice what I did? There's some on a cookie sheet in the
barbecue.
Yeah, just as a place it's going to get warm.
It's a closed container. It's not on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be blowing around.
Right. Gotcha.
Right. Because it's windy. So pick them, wash them, towel dry them, and then you can put them on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven.
But not on or on?
Yeah, on like 180 for about 1 to 2 hours, depending on what herb it is and how long and how wet
Don't do that
with
chili peppers.
No. Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. We've learned that.
We've talked about that.
Unless you want to clear your house out. You want to clear that all the guests out of your party that you're done with, put some chili peppers in the oven. Wait about 4 minutes.
That's funny. Which one did we just talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't remember. That was a recent episode. We discussed that.
That's right. That's right. Another way to dry them is the dehydrator.
Okay.
I had a memory.
Dehydrator.
We remember the dehydrator?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you just put them in there, and then that's another way to dry them.
That makes sense. Yeah. And then you freeze them after the dry. Is that right?
No.
Oh.
You could.
Okay.
You could, because that was the next thing is you can cut the fresh ones up and then put them into a ice cube tray and then add olive oil and then put them in the freezer.
Oh, nice.
And then when you're going to make a dish, you pop that out and you just start with oil that's infused with herbs.
Right.
It's so good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a great way to preserve your fresh herbs.
Mm-hmm. But the ones that you've dried, you just have a baggie of them in like your cupboard?
Airtight container, maybe like a mason jar or...
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good way to preserve them for the winter. And just making sure that they're, sourced well. So there's no pesticides or herbicides or any chemicals on them.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the other herbs that you want to talk about?
Yeah. The next one would be rosemary. Oh, it's like, like a pine, that pine scent is so delicious.
Yeah. It's a real woodsy kind of scent, and it's really good on chicken. You tend to put it on chicken a lot. I'm sure it's good for other things. Is that the one that's in Polo Cologne?
No, it's sage.
Sage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But rosemary is I just love the smell. And, as we're walking down the street and you see the gardens with rosemary, because a lot of times the rosemary bushes just keep growing and growing because they're perennial around here. And so they just get so big and they grow more every year if someone hasn't cut them back. And yeah, sometimes when you're walking, just walking down the street and someone I can tell the rosemary and I just have to,
You have to touch it.
I
You
do.
have to
It just
rub
smells.
it and pick it. And the kids get all angry at you because they think you're picking someone's flowers. And
Well,
you're like, it's
it
fine.
stimulates
It's good.
its growth.
Yeah, that's what
It's
you always
good.
say. It's good for it. It's good for the bush. Here, smell this. And you put a handful of stuff in her face and make us sniff it.
And then you know what? If you take a little bit of that and put it in the car, it's like natural air freshener.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good because the next time you get in your car, that's all you smell.
I do that with wood shavings from my workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing with wood. I'm a woodworker, and so I'm always bringing up cool pieces of wood and going, smell this.
Yes, the
Smells
cedar.
so good. And I throw some sawdust on the floor of the car and so everyone can enjoy it.
You're funny.
Put some in a little sock in my panty drawer, and it just smells so good.
You're so funny, Rob.
Right?
Well, that's funny. I was just in a group today with the prenatal group, and we were talking about lavender because that's one on the list too. Because that's another thing. You can pick lavender fresh and put it into like an old pantyhose, and then like make a bag out of it, like just tie it off, and then use it in your different drawers in the closet and just wherever you want that scent.
Wherever you want to smell like lavender.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's so good. And then you can actually, lavender is one of those herbs that you can bake with like in bread or in cookies and dessert items, and also tea. Like lavender tea is very soothing and nice.
We had a little lavender oil. This is another tangent, by the way, but that's fine. We're there now. We had some lavender oil, and I would just like put it inside my nostrils because then every time I would breathe, I would just smell lavender.
Oh, like in the workshop when you had
Instead of having a little bag, I'm like, might as well just go right to the source, right? And I'll just put it right under my nose. And,
well, didn't you put it in when you had your mask in your workshop?
My stinky old dust mask?
Yeah. And then
I used to put it in there because that thing reeked. So.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's when I started putting it in my nostrils because I thought I'd rather smell lavender than this stinky old thing. So.
Oh, right. Wow. It's almost too much information.
Almost. We're on the verge.
Like TMI.
But I think it's useful. People are going to be like, oh, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
That's right.
Putting lavender in my nostrils. Huh.
You're funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've talked about
We're on number four.
basil,
Four now? Number 4.
cilantro, rosemary, sage.
Sage.
So that's the one that is in the cologne polo. And it's great with chicken also. And turkey dinners and
poultry.
So
Poultry
good.
seasoning.
And I love the way the leaf looks. Like it's very, again, it's so fragrant. And it almost looks like the lamb's ear plant.
Oh, right. That one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good.
Cool.
Yeah. And
that's
then
a fun one.
it's kind of neat because they all have different flowers too. Like the rosemary has the purple flowers and sage does too. So that's depending on where you're living, but spring or summer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's a big bushy plant too. Herbs look so cool too. Like if someone has a really nice herb garden, it's pretty cool looking. It's big and bushy and full of life and
yeah, and deer resistant. A lot of those herbs
true.
the deers don't eat. So that's another bonus if you're growing it somewhere where there's no deer fencing. And the next one's oregano.
Oh, classic Italian seasoning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Really strong though.
It really is. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever tried oregano oil if you have a sore throat or a cold coming on.
Oh yeah. That stuff's well, it works, but stand back. It's
almost like that chili, like you were talking about the chili peppers. Like it's almost like too overwhelming. Like it's very
concentrated.
Yeah.
And it's like taking a shot of whiskey, but not in a good way.
No, I know it's very medicinal flavor, and it's I think an oil base.
And everyone around you will know you've had it.
Yeah.
because it's really strong scent.
It's hard to get it out of your like
System. Like that's probably why it works though, right? Because it just goes through and kills everything, I bet.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like probably an anti-inflammatory and antiseptic almost. Yeah. So the oregano is another delicious herb, though, just on its own, not the oregano oil, but oregano. There's so many different types too. If you go to the gardening store or you see the different types of oregano, there's like, same with all of them, actually. There's like different basil plants.
Who was it we were talking to recently that said, I think it was Liz Weiss said about the blue zones. She said it was the Mexican oregano. Like that's the oregano. I can't remember what.
Like more potent.
Yeah, I guess.
And flavorful.
But that's the one that all like the fancy chefs want and use. And yeah, so.
Interesting.
So
well,
there you go.
Italian oregano is good too, though.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's the one I grow. And I mean, that's another one that spreads. Like it just keeps growing and it's so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And then number 6 is parsley.
Oh, that's a classic.
That is
I say that about all of them, but they're all classics, really.
Yeah.
You know, like Simon and Garfunkel wrote a song about them all. Like that's how classic they all are, right? I don't know if parsley was one of those. Oh yeah, no, it was the first one. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
There we go. Which ones did we cover?
All of those, except
sage, rosemary, and thyme. Yeah, because that's another one that is on the list.
So parsley is like that's a little sprig of green you get on your plate, like as a decoration, but it's good for cleaning your breath or something, or like after you eat, digestion.
Yes, like a cleansing. It's so
cleansing
good
your
for
palate.
you, actually. It's like loaded with nutrition too. So
it's not just decoration.
Well, it is in a lot of dishes, but eat it. You can eat it.
No, that's
it's
exactly,
so
that's
good.
what I'm saying. It's not just decoration.
That's right. And when you pick it fresh, it's just so delicious. I mean, some people don't like, and the same with cilantro. It's one of those, you can have a genetic predisposition to not like the flavor.
Really?
Or love it. Yeah.
Wow. Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And there's other foods like that too.
Cool.
Like radishes, you do not.
No,
a lot of people
I don't
like
care
radishes.
for I like 99% of foods, but radishes are just the type of spice that's in them, because I love spicy food, but radishes, I don't like that kind of spice.
Isn't that fun? I love them.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. That's, yeah, I know. And a lot of people don't like radishes. They won't. It's too hot.
Yeah. Well, it's a different kind of, it's like cinnamon, like cinnamon hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for those either. And it's the same kind of, like, I don't know, hot. Like a cinnamon spice, like cinnamon hearts. I don't want to say spicy and hot, but it is spicy and hot,
they are
right?
totally, yeah.
But not like chili pepper hot.
Do you like cinnamon?
Yeah, I like a cinnamon on my toast or on my cereal or something. Yeah, I like
or
that.
in like
but cinnamon hearts
crumble?
is different, right? It's just like really intense.
Yeah, that's
it's like
true.
they've put some radish in there or something.
No, it's totally different. But anyway, that's interesting though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Weird, eh?
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, and number 7 is lavender.
Oh yeah, panty drawer. We talked about that one already. Panty drawer and nostrils.
Right. Okay. And that's one that most people would be like, what? Eat? You don't eat lavender, but you can. So.
In fancy restaurants, they put it in the salad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get little bits of it. I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Well, I know it can be baked into breads and cookies and bakery items.
Yeah, they'd probably smell really good.
Yeah. And thyme. That's the other one on Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, number 8, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thyme.
Thyme.
With a TH.
THYME. Yeah. And those are tiny little leaves.
They're like little buds on the end of a stem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are awesome too. They're very powerful in dishes. So when you're cooking, and if you use fresh thyme, that's awesome. And dried is good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And those are the ones in the Italian seasonings, right?
Yeah, the oregano, thyme, and sage, and
Basil.
Okay. And rosemary, is that in there too? Yeah.
Usually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's usually a good mix to have on hand. That just the Italian seasoning, they sell that everywhere. because it's got all of those, and that stuff's good on everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I find anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it in most things I make.
Yeah, like roasted potatoes and like where do you
everything. Pasta, soup, whatever. Eggs, cereal.
Cereal.
Yeah.
Full.
I'll shake it on my oatmeal.
You're joking.
No, I don't. But it'd be good. I bet I'll try that tomorrow and get back to you. Seriously, because why not? Oatmeal would be probably not bad with a little Italian seasoning on it. We'll give that a try because I like to experiment. Okay, what's number 9?
Well, I think, 8 was thyme. Okay, 9 is mint.
Oh, mint.
Peppermint. Spearmint.
Oh, I like peppermint tea.
Do you remember?
Is mint the same as peppermint? Same thing?
Well, there's different mints.
Probably, I'm sure.
And they grow like weeds. They're so amazing. But if you find that you don't want them to overtake your garden, put them in a pot because they will. They just spread like crazy.
Yeah.
And we have some. There was a part of the garden that I wanted to have more greenery. And so, yeah, it was fine that it was spreading. That's what I wanted.
Perfect. Maybe we could cover our front lawn with that so I don't have to mow it. Because then it would still be green. The deer won't eat it. It'll smell good. It'll look nice. Yeah, but
it's kind of, you know how it goes in the...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In the winter, it kind of dies off and then it comes back in the spring.
True. Okay.
But in the fall, I think I picked a bunch and then dried it and then just made tea.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Love that. Yeah, it was tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you could do with lavender too. And
yeah, that's cool. Like just go out to your garden and grab something to make tea out of it. I love that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That's great.
Yeah. That's the whole point, right? It's like back to nature. That's how people used to be, how they used to eat.
Exactly.
Okay. Number 10 is dill.
Oh, another classic.
Classic.
Like I said that with all of them. But it is good. I've been eating dill. We got a little bit of dill in our CSA box last week, and I've been putting it in everything, like my wraps and in my sprinkling it on my dinner. Like if I've had like a poke bowl or one of those things, and it's such a powerful. It's small, but it's really powerful, and it's such a great flavor.
Yeah.
Really fresh.
Oh, so good.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, in a salad or in a wrap, like you said. It's leafy. It's like feathery, like the fennel.
Yeah, it's like little tiny sticks.
Yeah. Was there any seeds with the dill seeds?
No.
Okay, because those are good for pickling, like for dill pickles, right?
Right, for sure.
So yummy. Oh yeah. So dill is such a good one too, and good for you. Again, they all are. They're all so good for you. And the last one that I want to mention is it a plural or a singular? Chives.
Chives. Yeah, I don't know. Some chive. Yeah, we'll say chives.
Because I don't think there is a chive.
A chive? That's not a jive.
CHIVES. Chives.
Chives, yeah.
And those are awesome. They're like the same family as onions and
like green onions.
Garlic.
Yeah. Those coily things that like the garlic get really crazy, and chives are they get pretty big, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of leeks. Leeks get really big.
Right, and it's all the same family. Like you can use them interchangeably in dishes. So if a recipe calls for green onions, but you have chives, that's fine. You know, like chives is like almost a vegetable. Same with fennel, a vegetable and a herb.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and they're so good. I mean, to add any onion flavor.
They're great on top. Yeah, I love adding it on top of whatever we're making. Just as a little, makes it look pretty, and it's just that little bit of extra flavor, and it's cold and fresh and crunchy a little bit. And
exactly.
I use scissors. I don't know if that's what everyone else does, but wash your scissors, and then you can just cut it like right on top of your food.
Yeah.
I thought I was quite smart when I figured that out, because I never thought of using scissors to cut food before, but I thought, well, this makes sense because it's just like I can hold it and put it right on my food in one step versus using a knife and then transferring it from the cutting board into my food. And so I don't know. Anyway, I thought I'd share that. Yeah,
no, that's great. You can tear them or cut them or use scissors. It's perfect. And the green onions, just as an aside, That's what's on our counter. So we had green onions and used them all. And then you've got the little end that's got
The little nub with the hairs on it.
Exactly.
Well, the roots, right?
Yeah, you put those in a container with water, like a cup with some water, and then they grow. They grow on the counter. So then you can just use those in your dishes like chives, but they're green onions.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
So good.
It's like a chia pet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They just keep growing and giving back.
Your kids will love it, actually. It's kind of cool to see. So
well, I think our kids sometimes say, Mom.
Well, yeah, teenagers won't love it, but children,
like science
children
experiment going on. It's like, yeah, well, I'm making food grow here in the kitchen.
Exactly.
So anyways, that is the nutrition nuggets with the herbs.
That wraps up the longest nutrition nuggets in history.
The wrap. And we can put a lot of these herbs in the wraps.
Exactly. There we go. All right. So as always, check out our website. We've got lots of information there. You can email us your questions if you have any. We love answering listeners' questions. That's mywifetherd@gmail.com. And our website's mywifethedietitian.com. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And
share it with a friend.
Share it with a friend. Yeah.
Tell one other person that you work with, or a friend, or a family member, or a coworker, colleague, somebody that you think would benefit from the information. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. And don't forget to rate and review. That's always super helpful for us and for other people finding the show. So that's it for this week. We will be back next Monday with a full episode. Look for a newsletter on the weekend too. Forgot to mention that. You can sign up for that on our website. That comes out on the weekend or sometimes Monday morning if I'm slow. So, yeah, sign up for that. It's great information there. And that is it. We will be back next week. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for putting up with us and listening all that we have to say.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.